Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with another Pokemon Sword and Shield moveset video guide on how to use Thievul. Now, if this is your first video, hi, hello, my name is Joey. I play competitive Pokemon over here on YouTube, and I plan on uploading a lot of moveset guides, Wi-Fi battles, Showdown lives, and Pokemon Sword and Shield guides in general on the channel. So, of course, if that's something that's interesting to you, feel free to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Those links are down below. But let's talk a little bit about Thievul. Unfortunately, Thievul doesn't have the best stats. Having basically its best stat being 92 special defense, and then its second best stat being 90 speed. So it's a really average slash below average mon. And if you're thinking about this Pokemon being, something of high tier, something you're going to see all the time, you're more than likely wrong. However, in a lower tier setting, I feel like Thievul can definitely thrive. Maybe like PU if you go by Smogon tiers, for instance. But we'll talk a little bit about the first set we have here, which is the Choice Spec set, which boosts its special attack times 1.5. So, Thievul has the cool ability called Stakeout, and if you didn't know what Stakeout does, basically it doubles the base power of a move if your opponent switches out. So, or if they switch in on a move rather. So let's say I have Thievul out versus a Pokemon that's weak to Dark type. So let's just say a Psychic type like Xatu, for instance. Xatu decides to switch out into Resistance like Tyranitar, and I decide to go for Grass Knot, predicting Tyranitar to come in. The Grass Knot would be doubled in power because Tyranitar switched in on the attack. Whereas if it was Tyranitar was already in, I would do less damage. If that makes sense. I hope that kind of makes sense. Basically, Stakeout doubles the base power of the move. And that's pretty cool on a Choice Spec set with Thievul because it has a decent speed tier. And again, for lower tiers, this can probably work. I don't know it's going to do so much work in the standard metagame, whatever that may be. But we're just going to go max speed, timid. We want to try and get off as many attacks as possible, especially with a frail Pokemon like this with 58 base defense and 70 base HP. And our main move and our stab is going to be Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is the move we're going to be clicking most of the time. But we do have Grass Knot, and Grass Knot's pretty cool if you try to use this in a higher tier setting where a Pokemon like Tyranitar might be around, so you can actually hit that. Obviously also hitting water types, ground types, rock types, respectively. We also have Psychic, and Psychic is alright because Thievul is weak to Fighting type, being a Dark type. So Psychic gives you a super effective hit versus those Fighting types. Now, Parting Shot is our final move, and I think you can turn this around. You could trade this for like U-Turn if you really want to, but I felt like putting Parting Shot over U-Turn, specifically because it actually lets Thievul do something because of its high base speed. High, I'm getting quotations, but because of its speed stat being maxing out at 306 at level 100 with a timid nature, we can get off a Parting Shot, which better supports teammates on the team. If you guys didn't know, Parting Shots lowers the stats of a Pokemon that you use it on, and it switches you out into whatever Pokemon you want to go out into. Whereas U-Turn would be the guaranteed move to get a little bit of damage off and bring out something else. But Parting Shot can be cool for setting up another Pokemon, for instance. Again, I don't think this Pokemon is going to be very solid, but it's going to be fun to use, and I can't wait to use it in a Wi-Fi battle as well as a Showdown Live. I do have a second set. The second set kind of uses what the first set has, but instead of a Choice Specs, you do have a Life Orb on this set to still boost the power of your attacks. And we're abusing the fact that Thievul does have access to Nasty Plot, so you can boost your special attack +2 with Nasty Plot, and then switch up moves, whereas Choice Specs limits you to one move as you click it. So obviously same exact coverage, Dark, Grass, and Psychic. It's basically all that Thievul really has when it comes to coverage, and we're not going to be using any physical attacks because Thievul has base 58 attacks, so that's not something you really want to use unless you're using something like Foul Play, which I'll talk about in a second. But the idea is to use Thievul as a sort of sweeper with Nasty Plot and boost your special attack, which is average, below average, average-ish, and make it obviously over, over 500. So that's the idea behind this set. However, in terms of actually getting off attacks with Thievul, because of its very low HP and very low defense, although it has decent special defense, chances are you're not going to be able to Nasty Plot up very often. So it might be better to just use the Choice Spec set over the Nasty Plot set, and that's why I kind of showed you guys that set first when it came to this Pokemon. But a few other options this Pokemon does have, and I'll talk about it, but I'm going to talk about why it's not the best. It's a Dark type Pokemon, so it has access to Foul Play. Now, Foul Play is a physical move, but it takes into account your opponent's attack stat. It takes into account your opponent's attack stat, and it basically does damage equal to that, and they get stabbed from Foul Play itself because it is a Dark type. But still, Not necessarily very good. I mean, it has that plus parting shot and taunt, which is something that Alolan Persian has ran in the past. But the reason Alolan Persian was able to get away with it is because Alolan Persian obviously has higher speed and has fur coat. Like, it has a few things going for it when it came to that, whereas Thievul does not have anywhere near the bulk due to fur coat or that speed. So for the most part, you're probably going to see maybe something like this. If I had to compare this to a Pokemon, I compare it to maybe something like Gumshoes, whereas Gumshoes uses Choice Band, Stakeout, or Choice Band adaptability sets, but Choice Band, Stakeout to make use of the fact that it's not very good at switching up moves, but having that Choice Band boost and being able to hit hard because of the Stakeout ability is really good. But that's the idea behind Thievul. There's not much else I can really talk about when it comes to this Pokemon. If you do use it with a parting shot support set, obviously a lot of setup sweepers can help alongside that. Getting parting shot off can be really cool for something like Swords Dance Dreadnought, Shell Smash Poltergeist, Dragon Dance Gyarados is probably a better one to speak of, but for the most part, you're probably not going to be able to get anything off like that. But you want to get this Pokemon in, you want to click a button, maybe try and get it in versus something that has a good type matchup of. That way they switch out and you hit really hard on whatever's coming in. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hope you guys all enjoyed and learned something. If you have other Thievul sets that you think can work, let me know down below. I'm always, willing to read and listen. And I can't wait to use this thing in a Showdown Live and a Wi-Fi battle. So stay tuned. If you guys want to check out any of my other moveset guides, there is a playlist down below. And that's it. Goodbye, my friends.